Uh, okay, so just let me know if we're live on YouTube. Just can you hear me? Spence, watch out, pal. Uh, uh, guys, are we live? Yeah, I think we are live. Okay, so live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Gold is running lovely. We've had a couple of trades, so we're 3 for 3 today. Um, I'm just going to show you the chart that we took gold live. So YouTube, I'm just flicking over, so you should be able to see. Oh, we don't need that there. And I'm just going to change you over on TikTok. Let me just, what's these? Let me just get the statement up on screen. Uh, Software seems to be having an absolute glitch today. Okay, let's change, see if this will work. Text, statement. Um, can now mark YouTube just launched. Out at 10 pips. Okay, no worries. I got text statement. Let's see if it works this time. Jesus. Every time I want to try and do something in terms of the text, let's just the joys of technology. I'm gonna absolutely okay, let's just bit too eager to move stop loss. Okay, no worries, Vic. Um, but to be fair, if you'd have managed it according to the rules, the basic rules, hi Mikey, how you doing? All good. Anything on NAS? I'll have a look in a minute. I'm live on gold, so I'm just gonna close this chart down a second. I just want to see if it comes back okay. And so let me try and get the display capture coming back on. Hey Peanut, how you doing? Ronaldo, good afternoon. So we are long on gold at the minute, but everything just doesn't want to work today. Let me see if let's get rid of that. I'm just going to close a few things down because I don't know what's happening today, but nothing wants to work. Here we go. It's starting now. But apologies if you're on TikTok. I can't get the charts up. If you here we go. So if you remember this morning on the live stream, Vic, what I was saying about with trend, I'm putting the stop. I'm not no device detected. Okay, let's click. There we go. Okay, so so we can see MetaTrader 5 now. So the original entry that I placed was here, scaled out at 10, a little bit more than 20 here. It was 23.5 pips. And then this one, if we have, let me just get rid of that right now. We scaled out at 64 pips. So pretty nice trade, and we've got a little bit left running. So just going to leave the last final bit running. Now, Thomas Byrne, good afternoon. Impossible Head, good afternoon. There's all sorts not happening with TikTok. I'm just gonna let me close. There seems to be some issues with everything today. close that one down. Let's close this down. Don't understand what's going on today. The entry candle hadn't closed though. Which entry candle hadn't closed? It was a 1 hour setup. It was a 1 hour setup. Yeah, so we traded this one here. Initially, the candle pushed up first, then it wicked down, then I bought the high as it broke its own high. Scale, 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 and then move the stops underneath where we currently sit, which looks like we're about to get taken out for about 20 pips. But that's only for a very small part of the position because we'd already scaled 50%, 50%, another 50% here. So really, really nice trade on this one. And I can't, for the love of God, trading views not loading. I'm just trying to, let me just task manager, see if I can close some stuff down. I don't know what's going on today. Seem to be having the technology issue like you cannot believe. Just let me know while we're logging in if this is your first time on the stream. For those of you on TikTok, it must have been a bit of a terrible start to the stream. System interrupts. What the hell is that? Uh, uh, OBS, TikTok Live, that's fine. Google Chrome, let's close that one. Sorry guys, I'm just having to close some stuff down because for some reason I've got 8 TikTok Live studios running for some reason. That's in that one. No, I'm not selling anything right now. I'm long on gold, based on basically a BPC setup. We got buyers coming to the market, then we had the bow and arrow. So imagine the market pulling back, and then as it projects forward, it's broken the highs. So that's why we took our bias there. Right, I can't understand what's going on, but Trading View does not want to load for some reason. Oscar, how are we doing? Yeah, having a little bit of a nightmare in terms of technology right now. Let's see if I can find Trading View Task Manager. So while we're waiting for this one to, because it can do whatever now, I'm not really fussed. The DAX is continuing to sell off. This morning we did have a look at opportunities if the market was going to break a certain price point. All right, let's get rid of those. Okay, so desktop window manager. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on with my PC at the minute, so I do apologize. Hopefully we can be back up and running smoothly in a short while. Let's go back to gold because it is running live. We've got profit locked in. We've closed. This was a trade we took earlier, but then the one just before the hourly candle closed, we saw the market push up 10 pips, 25 pips, close some out at 65 pips, and now it's just about to break its low. And if it does, we're going to get stopped out for about 18 pips on the final part of the position. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can close down while this is trying to run. there's I feel like I need to start the live again and undo everything, but you need to update YouTube wins and losses. Ah, good point. Thank you, Dan. Let me just do that. Results. So we've got a nice little 7 there. So we continue our. There we go. We're out of this trade. So we are continuing since we've been running the live stream in August. We are running at 100% strike rate at the minute with 7 wins and 3 break-even trades. So we'll see what happens now, but I'm gonna have you manage to get magic keys back. No, I haven't managed to get magic keys back, so I'm doing this all manually at the minute. Okay, so opportunities. What will I look at now for trading? Well, I'm going to look at sells below 34.69, I think that is. Yeah, 34.69. And I'm not going to look at any buys unless we get above. Let's just check. 30-minute, that's fine. 15-minute, yeah, lovely. So that's going to be what I'm going to look at for opportunities today. Thanks for the uh, lighting up all the whatever they're called. Your follower Oscar CA joined from post. Thank you. Pedro Mendez, welcome. Dylan Diesel, welcome. Yeah, so right now I'm not doing anything at the minute. I've just taken a long gold, which we took. It's probably going to equate to about 50 pips out of the market. Let's just close that down. Close. Okay, so right, I've just closed a load more stuff down, just see if that can assist with whatever's going on at the minute. Rafael, yeah, nice day. It is definitely a nice day after these 2 trades. Last one's definitely just nice bit of profit in the can. So what we're going to wait for is sells below 34.69 and buys. I'm going to look for. Let me just have a look above here. Yeah, we can look for buys above that level here. So just going to gain drop to the 5th. So yeah, we've got finally it's loaded. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, so we are back on TradingView, and this is going to assist now because TradingView is much better for me to analyze the market. So I'm just going to go back. Now we don't have any live trades running on. We can go back and analyze what's happening on TradingView. There we go, starting to apply itself much better. So what I must do is, while I'm hopefully this will work now. It's not. Okay, so TradingView is having an issue. So I just want to make you aware that, listen, everything that I'm doing today is for educational purposes. There we go. And it is not financial advice. Now, the purpose of me doing these live streams is so you can see what I run and how I approach the market on a daily basis. Just using price action, nothing else other than price action. So I don't use any indicators. I don't talk about smart money concepts. I don't talk about order blocks. I don't talk about ARBs. You name it, I don't talk about it. Anything other than price action. One thing also that please within the live chats, I don't want any untoward towards any people that attend. So keep the chat friendly. No sledging. If you don't like what you see, just leave the room. Okay, it's that simple. I've just realised I've taken my bloody hat off. I look alright, Steve. How did I dare let myself in public like that? Unbelievable. I've had a cap on all morning, then just realised I saw myself in the bloody camera's like, thank God there weren't many people on. Ruby's Crafts, good afternoon. Tone Montana, Mohammed Amir, Vatan Rexa, and yeah, good afternoon, team. So we've just taken a gold trade on price action. Now it was here. Let me explain this. So this is which way, if you could look at this market, what way would you say the market is predominantly moving, up or down? So would you say this market is predominantly moving to the upside or to the downside? Yeah, said it's predominantly moving to the upside. So things we need to consider is if we are trading with the predominant trend, we want to be AFJ, we want to be a little bit more conservative with our trade management as opposed to being very, very aggressive. So what I mean by that is when I'm trading with the trend, I'm happy to give the stop a little bit more room to breathe. So in this instance, when I place this trade, with my inner circle crew, what we looked at was this candle had closed bullish. We'd had an impulse, a correction. We think about the tennis ball. So, Jay, Brandon, if you're on, this is where we had a long order placed because we were looking at the market starting its next impulsive move. So, this is where we got our first trade during our one-on-one session. Yeah. Now, obviously, we closed that because we didn't get the entry before the hourly, but you can see what I was looking for and why we were doing it. Okay, so that was, we were looking for buys above here. Now, then once we got the confirmation with the bullish candle close, this is like, okay, we're about to start the next impulsive move higher. So what I'm always looking for when we get these confirmations, so this would be what I call a BPC setup. So if we just highlight this area, so this would be the resistance level. Then it broke out. Whether we got a trade here or not doesn't matter. So it broke out, and then this is the pullback. So after the pullback, we're looking for a continuation. The continuation is where we're waiting for a buyer candle to come in. This was the buyer candle. Then, if we think about the pullback, as in the bow and arrow, we want the market to move backwards. So we want it to come down before it goes up. So what actually happened here was it moved up initially, but only like a few pips, very little, and then it started to sell off. So when it sold off, I then placed an entry above the high of this candle, of which it then moved and we got our 65 pips out of the market. So really happy, a very, very simple trade. But the difference here was because this was with trend, normal rules would apply where you hit TP1 and move stops to break even. So what I did was once it triggered, so let's just put a marker on here. Once it triggered, you see price literally after this pullback broke the highs. And then once it triggered here, I moved my stop underneath the 15-minute low and I just left it there. So from being down here initially, I moved my stop to here and I left it there. So I hit 10 pips and then on second target at 23 and a bit pips, I moved my stop to break even. And that's how I protected myself. So I let it move a little bit forward. If I'd have just left it at 10 pips and moved my stop to break even in this instance, I would have actually got stopped at break even after 10 pips. I don't mind, but because I was trading with trend, I wanted to just give it a little bit more room on the basis that we're coming into COMEX open and I was expecting fresh cash to hit the market and we'd continue that market movement. So that's how I managed that trade. Did that make sense, guys? If it made sense, just let me know. I'll give you the rules for the BPC in a second. Anna, I think that was what you were referring to in the chat, right? You weren't sure about the what I was saying with the break even and moving it when with trend. Ronaldo Rivero, good afternoon. How are you? Stephen Buckley, good afternoon. Okay, super. Pawinda, good afternoon. Or Mauricio Rodriguez, good afternoon. So let's see if we have, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so right now, there's nothing I'd want to do with gold unless we get below this area. So let me just squeeze the data in. Yeah. So we're going to look for sells below here. Not really going to do anything there. Now, NASDAQ's 334 points down. I don't want to do anything I don't want to sell it when it's 334 points down. If anything, I want to be looking for maybe a contrarian trade. So looking for structure. So somewhere here, if price can tap into this area and we see buyers, maybe look for a buy setup to trade it back up. Or if you want to be a little bit more, not conservative, but waiting for more, then what I'd do is I'd wait for price to come into here, then have a correction, and then wait for sellers to come back in. So that's going to be the longer play, but it means you're going to be looking at trading with the market trend. Okay. So members today, I know a lot of the members took some sells on the NASDAQ earlier. I didn't take them, but their rationale and thought process for taking the trade was really, really good. So let me explain why. So we had this morning in the live stream, we had a support level here, which is 23,333. So let's put this in. So it sells below 23,332. Let's put there. Okay. So now what members are looking for is if we get a close below here and looking for potential breakouts. So if we go to our rules, we go over here, text, we go to breakout short, and let's bring it on. I knew that was going to happen. For some goddamn reason, it really just, someone give me strength. Anyway, so listen, the rules. In fact, I know what I can do. Let's do this instead. Breakout short. Here you go. So here's the rules. I'm going to show you the rules, but from a different perspective. Right, just comment if you can see the rules for a short setup. Just put a yes in the chat box if you can see the rules. Yeah, just okay, Vic, Dan, thank you. You can see them. That's great to hear. So what we're looking for is a candle to close below structure. When it closes below structure, the next thing we're looking for is price to push up. As it pushes up, we're going to look to sell the low of this candle. So this is me having a simplistic set of rules and how I can approach the market consistently on a daily basis. Okay, so uh, so that rule, if we look at it, I've just seen this candle here close below 23.32, and now what we're looking for is price to wick up. So do we see the candle close below? If the answer is yes, then we have the first part of our setup. Do we have a candle wick up? If the answer is yes, we have another part of our setup. And last but not least, do we have clear space to the left-hand side? So meaning when I look left and I look through here, do I have clear room for the market to trade into? If all of those conditions are met, then I'll place a sell stop underneath the low of this candle. So clear space, we're looking for at least 20 pips to the downside. So we know the next level's way down here. So there's like 200 points. Now, the members that took this, you can see it went 70 odd points in a straight line. So the way that we manage our positions here would be that in this instance, T1 20 pips, T2 40 pips, T3 60 pips, and then just leave the last bit to go as far as it can and manage it accordingly. Now, what would be if you were to think outside the box now, if you're selling here, what would be a good idea for trade management? Give me some ideas that you could do for trade management on the basis that we're selling. So if we sold here, how could we manage the trade? We've already scaled out. Oops, short position. So we've already scaled out. The Jesus is going on with this today. Right. I, Trading View just doesn't want to work. I'm going to lose my marbles in a minute. Anyway, so what I was saying is if we sold underneath here, stop loss here, and then we see the market moving in our favor. Give me some simple ideas on what we could do for trade management on how we could look after our position. So simple ideas. How can we manage the trade so that not only are we scaling out, what can we do in terms of trade management, in terms of price action? So how do we maximize it and how do we stop the trade coming all the way back to our entry price? What things could we look at? Moving the stop loss. Yeah, okay, so how would you want to move the stop loss? What would be things that would give you reason to move the stop loss? Okay, so someone Dan say move the stop loss to each TP. So if you hit TP1, stop loss to break even. If you hit TP2, move your stop loss to TP1. Okay, it's a mechanical way of doing it. So anything that's mechanical, I like. Why do I like mechanical processes when it comes to trading? Any ideas? Why do we like mechanical processes when it comes to trading? Um, it's not that we respect the rules, it's to be consistent. So if you have mechanical processes, then it's a lot easier to be consistent. Obviously, you can still screw up if you let your mind go off in a tangent, and you don't follow the rules and you decide to follow what your subconscious says. Then obviously you can create yourself some issues. Now, what I do want to say is if you have a mechanical process, then it's an if done scenario. So you go, hold on a second, I've just got a bullish candle in a bearish trend. I'll move my stop loss above the high of that candle, or I'm going to close half of it. And then if it closes bullish but then breaks the high of it, you close the rest of it. So that is a systematical or a mechanical process on how to manage stop losses when you're trading, taking a position. You know, things to consider is before you place the trade, you need to know what your target is. You need to know what your exit is, and you need to know how you're going to manage that trade. If you're doing things differently along the way, then it's all on emotion. And if you're trading on emotion, then you're going to react based on maybe how you're feeling that day. If you're happy and you know chilled, then that's fine. If you're angry and pissed off, you're probably going to do something really irrational, like trade at a higher lot size, probably move your stops or against where you meant to move them. You're probably going to do all the things that you shouldn't do. So this is why it's always best to have a systematical, mechanical approach to the way that you trade. So if you look, when I'm placing a trade or if I'm um, looking at taking an order, I'll come over here and see if it works. If I'm looking for a BPC short here, let's, there we go. Finally, things are working. So I've got a set of rules, very, very simple. Downtrend, breakout has already happened. Minimum two candle pullback. They must be up range candles. Bearish candle close. So what I'm looking for is the market to pull back up, creating a minimum of two up range candles, and then I want a seller candle to come in. Okay, lovely. Clear space to the left, no traffic. So I'm looking for big bodied candles, giving me at least 20 pips. If I've got that and the next candle wicks up, then I'm placing a sell stop below the low of the seller candle. Okay, so we've got a very, very simple set of rules. We know what we're going to do if price rallies, and then we get a seller candle. Uh, Gold. Let me just get this. Copy gold. Now we're going to wait and set alerts for potential gold shorts underneath this area. Now, because of the way this candle's moving, even if price comes down here and let's say it rejects this area, we can look for buys based on my rules because we're going to have nice big clear candle space. If we have, can you look to the previous pullback on NAS? That strategy wouldn't work right. Let's have a look. NAS. Whereabouts? Give me a date and time frame. So on this, are you on about here? John, is it John Ejo? Is it, are you looking at this bit or this bit? Is this where you're referring to? After the break. So here, okay. So let's have a look. Let's put the rules into place. So first of all, it wouldn't be a BPC. Okay, so it wouldn't be a BPC because in this, or are you referring to this bit here? So as we pulled up, we've got two, let's have a look. Do we have clear space and do we have over 20 pips available to us? So if we're referring to this bit here, where the seller candles come in, we're looking at the low of that candle here. So that's the bearish candle low. And we got 29 pips. So in theory, you could look at it. There's options. We get a wick up depending how this candle moved. If it wicked up first, then you're going to be in. Your stop loss is going to be up here. And then to be fair, on trading with the trend, you're not going to have hit TP. So your stop loss is going to be here. You've had a bullish candle close, so you close half of it. And then the market moves in your favor. You'd hit TPs all the way down. So you'd lose half of it here on a bullish candle close, closing half of it down, and then you'd get some of it back. Yeah. And then you've got the breakout here, but that wouldn't be a trade either. You've got a breakout, but then it's just gone down. So using trade management, you'd have closed half out. Or using my rules, I would have closed half out on this candle here. Now, some people, if they hadn't have closed half out, would have made money. If you'd used it on the 30-minute time frame, you'd have made, you wouldn't have made any money because you don't have 20 pips down to here. You wouldn't have taken the trade. Oh, it's close. You'd have to check your broker. If you've got 20 pips, you'd take the trade. And then the rest is history. The rest you'd be above the high, above the high, above the high, and you'd be sitting somewhere around 150 points up. So, so yeah, obviously depend on time frame, depending on setups. You might take it on the 15, you lose half, and then you add the other half back in on the 30. So as Big Harvey, welcome back. I recognize the name. I know this isn't your first rodeo with us. Right, while we're waiting for markets to set up, so I'm not going to be trading anything on this right now unless we get a pullback or a rejection of this level. DAX, same as NASDAQ. Gold, I need price to as uh, I need price to break. Why does it not come up? There we go. Don't know why that. has disappeared, but I need it to break 34.69. 34.69 will be opportunity to get short, and then I'll be looking for bigger moves down. Buy stop. BPC potential from here, but let's just wait. Let's wait for the market to get here, because I think if we get below here, we could see a strong sell-off. 3,500 was a significant number for the market to run into. So yeah, let's see how the market reacts as US comes into play. So we've had COMEX open, but at 2:30 we do have US stock markets opening, NYSE. So that should give us another sort of flow of cash coming into the market, and we'll see what happens. Remember, I'm treating today a bit like a Monday. The reason I'm doing that is because yesterday was US bank holiday, so we could see a bit of volatility today. There is news at 3 p.m., but I'll be done by then. I'm pretty much done for now, to be fair. Today, what we've done, 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. Oh no, 3 trades. A TP1 and a break even. A TP1, a TP2 and a break even, and then a TP1, TP2, TP3 and break even. So, oh, sorry if you can hear my little princess walking outside. We've only got a few days left before school goes back. So there will be from Thursday less background noise, let's put it that way. How's everyone's week going so far? We're only a couple of days in because it was bank holiday here. Is it? I'm lost. Was it bank holiday on Monday? No, that was last week. So we're 2 days in, 4 trades, 4 wins. Did you do the? No, I'll be doing that tonight, Dan. I'll keep you posted on that. Uh, I'm just waiting for the guys at Instant FX to give me all the data. I haven't got that yet. Still struggling with psychology. What would you say is your issue with psychology? Is it because, listen, I'll give you the main reasons why psychology plays a part on people's uh, trading. Is one, because they usually don't have a plan. Two, they're normally trading at too big a lot size, and the reason they're trading at too big a lot size is because they want to make more cash quickly to help with, let's say, general living costs these days. And then if you are trading at too big a lot size, it will make you want to do silly things because you're looking at the P&L and you're shitting yourself. Um, they're generally the main reasons why psychology will play a part. Because if you think about it, if you're, let's imagine going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you want to start doing bench press. Imagine what you're going to be thinking if you've not been in the, hey, gold trader, imagine what you're going to be thinking if you just jump into bench press, you've not done anything for ages, and someone puts on 150 kilos. You're going to look at it and your mind's going to go, well, I know I can't do this, and what are they going to do? You're just going to freak out. You're not even going to try it, right? So when you're trading, if you're going to start doing things that you haven't worked up to and uh, you haven't built the pathways for consistency, meaning your mind and your psychology isn't used to you trading at a certain lot size. You haven't traded in a consistent way for long enough to feel comfortable taking trades without worrying about it. And that is usually the the issue when it comes to psychology. How many trades have we taken? One trade in the live stream today and three in total. You can see I've just put trades taken. We update that now. I've been doing that since, and there's always a day that destroys the week. Okay, so the day that destroys the week, have a look at the trades that you've taken and see what you did in that day. Was it over trading? Was it moving your stop loss? Was it just pure gambling because you took a bad trade in the morning? Have a look, and then what you want to do is you want to build a set of rules that says, right. In fact, one of the guys on YouTube now, I was saying something like this to them the other week, that when you have a losing trade, create a rule that just takes you away from the screen. So if you have a losing trade, you just stand up, close your charts, walk away, take the dogs for a walk. If you don't have dogs, take yourself for a walk, go and get a bit of fresh air. Do it for 15, 20 minutes. And the purpose of that is just to reset the cycle. So whereas maybe when you've been taking a trade and you've had a losing trade, then natural habit based on what you've done previously is to continue to stare at the screen and try and force another trade. Whereas best thing you can do is change that habit because that habit has proven to get you in more trouble. So if it gets you in more trouble, then what you want to do is just boom, let's break the cycle and start something fresh. Let's have a look. I've had fantastic positions today, but I'm down on the day. Ah, shit. Sorry to hear that, man. Tried to catch a much bigger move than the market gave. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Overtrade, revenge, let it stop loss without reducing risk. Everything that you can think. Yeah, but look, when you start admitting and owning to these things, then it becomes easier to deal with. You know, I mean, I have times where I would say I'm contemplating deleting the apps on my phone. There's certain things that I don't mind having trading view on my phone, but anything that places a trade, I'm not sure I want it because I there's a few times over the last year or two where I've don't know, I've left my phone open or something in my bag or in my pocket, and there's a trade in there. And next thing you look at it, it causes you a nightmare. So you should only trade where you're sat in an environment where you can manage the trade 100%. You're focused. There's no distractions. I mean, I'm saying that now. Yeah, I've got the door closed, but sometimes you've probably been here, and all of a sudden my little girl walks in, and ultimately there's not a lot you can do about that. I'm not going to lock the door on her, but ultimately you want to make sure that you take as many distractions away from the market as possible. Um, but gold, I'm just going to set an alert here, uh, and I'm going to delete previous alerts. There we go. Delete that one. Um, okay, so I'm going to put a message here, and the message is going to be breakout short or BPC long, depending on what happens with the candle. Okay, on gold, if there's a pullback at 34.69 to the upside, what will you do, sir? Okay, so here, if we have nice big candles with big bodies, okay, I don't want to see little candles with little bodies with wicks to the upside and to the downside. If we have that, okay. I mean, but John, that's because errors have happened. But if for your work, if you're going to concentrate and you can do it fine, then perfect. But you know, um, Vic, 1% up today. Well done, buddy. Okay, so BPC, this is what I'd want to see. Not that one, this one. So, pasta, this is what I'd be looking for. This is what I want to see. Setups, uptrend, breakout has already happened. 2 seller candles minimum. So I want to see downrange candles. Downrange candle just has a lower high and a lower low to the previous one. I want to see a bullish candle close like this. No traffic, so clear candle space. So the downrange candles, in theory, should give you a nice traffic to trade, no traffic to trade into. Meaning, we've got decent bodies. The small bodies, forget it. If the next candle wicks down, then we place a buy stop above that high, and that is exactly how I trade it. Okay, so hopefully that made sense on how I would look to trade it through that period. But a lot will be dependent in the next 10 minutes. If this candle closes like this in the next 9 minutes, then I wouldn't even contemplate a BPC. I would only look if the market closes below 34.69. So I know I've already done this a couple of times, but it sells below 34.69. Don't understand why it keeps deleting. But is there a buy opportunity on the 15-minute candle? Let's have a look. I can see what you're looking at, Dan. I can see what you're looking at. There's plenty of room there. Let's see how the next, yeah, let's see how the next, what we got, 8 minutes. Let's see how the next 8 minutes closes. Horrible day. I'm finished for the day. All right. Spread on gold right now is 1 pip. Uh, whereabouts are you based, John? Is it John? Gold trader, listen, horrible days. Finish it for the day and yeah, and come back tomorrow. Go for a nice walk, clear your head. So, John, I was just about to ask the same. Okay, I'm dealing with 3, 5, and 4. Ooh, okay. Um, what's that with? Are you on prop accounts or are you on personal accounts? Uh, so on prop, okay. Do you trade any personal? And which prop accounts are you using? Oh God, here goes the door. Uh, uh, Prop XP. Okay, don't know that one. Uh, oh God, dog's going off. Um, no, I just sent you. Do you recommend first to 20 pips with? Do you recommend first to 20 pips with spread? Play technical analysis doesn't work. Okay, play 5%ers and funded next on my choice. Yeah, I know a few people 5%ers. I've never used Funded Next. Well, Play 'em, this is definitely going to be the wrong channel for you. So thanks for your comment, but maybe go to a different channel that might suit your needs. Uh, Funded Next Payout. Yeah, I've heard that. I've never used them. Um, uh, Look, I mean, this 15-minute setup that members were talking about, could we look for it? It's done for me now. I couldn't first TP with spread. Uh, yeah, John, I've dropped you a DM, mate. So just checking your messages. I've sent you and I can assist with some of your comments there. Uh, Instant FX Capital. Do you even know what spread is? Oh, dear me. Yeah. Not got a clue, play 'em. Can you tell me what spread is, please? I, I love these conversations with certain people. So play 'em's just gonna come in and tell us everything that does and doesn't work, but yet probably sits there very quiet, keyboard warrior. Yeah. So play 'em. Listen, let's just keep it nice and simple. If you don't like what you're hearing, mate, then go find another live stream to pester. Blind leading the blind. I see, said the blind man to the deaf dog. But it's all right. Anyway, nothing on gold for me now. Nothing on gold. Yeah. Yeah, nothing on gold for me. We'll be waiting now for either BPC trades on the DAX or BPC trades on NASDAQ. In fact, NASDAQ could potentially we've come into structure now, so depending on what happens at 2:30, we've come into our structure point. If we get bullish candle close, I will be potentially looking at opportunities to go long, potentially. So what we're going to look for will be a contrarian trade. What's that noise? 1 second. Okay, yeah. Um, Order block gold. Yeah, there's no trades for me on gold now. We took a long trade at the beginning of the session, which we hit 65 pips out of on our third scale out. We did 10, 25, and 65. But yeah, now it's sat in a range. Every time I come back to gold, the levels and everything is deleted. I'm not quite sure why that's happening. So uh, Okay, guys. So just waiting. No, bro. The market makers are gonna run your stops. What stops? I don't have a trade. But thanks for the advice. Um, there's no trades running. There's always plenty of advice coming my way from people sat behind the screens. Listen, I'm here every day trading, and I use the same rules every day. You see the wins, you see the losses. That's it. If if you're happy, you're confident, whatever, and you want to tell people what's happening and how they're doing it, all I'd say is please live stream and go live in front of everyone every day. Explain what you're doing and be consistent. If you don't want to do that, simple answer is go find someone else's stream to pester because right now you're doing my wicking, pal. It's so over. What's over? Anyway, let's just wait for the markets to present themselves, the opportunities that we need. We just sit here and wait for it. Thank you for lighting all the gifts up. Very kind of you. Anyway, so here we go. Uh, let's just wait for the US Open now. We'll wait for the US Open, and on that basis, we're gonna see if there's an opportunity. We don't need to trade anything now because we've done our one trade, we've got our pips, and that's it. We we manage the trade according to our rules, we got the setup according to our rules, and that's it. Very simple process. We don't do anything untoward. Waiting for indexes will be open at 2:30, so in 26 minutes. Comics is open, so just waiting, waiting, waiting. I'm Listen, the markets that really have given the moves today, the biggest moves have definitely come on the indexes today, but I've not taken any trade on any index. There was a great setup on the NASDQ, but I did miss that unfortunately. It played out perfectly to our breakout rules, and the members in the group did really, really well from it. But like I said, I didn't capture it. I didn't capture it. Um, Alexander, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. AK joined. Yeah, we're just going to sit tight, guys. Maybe another 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes for this next candle to close, and we could potentially get an opportunity. So don't need this in anymore. That's old hat. But we need to wait for buyers to come in if we are going to get an opportunity. What are breakout rules, if you can explain? Yeah, sure. I'll just share. So this is how I look for a breakout. So support level has been formed. I look for a candle to close below. And the next candle, I'm looking for it to pull back up. And as soon as it pulls back up, creates a top wick, I'm going to place a sell stop underneath the lows. little bit like if you want to fire a bow and arrow, you pull the bow back, let go for that arrow to project forward. So I'm always looking for the market to come up, grab some liquidity before it comes down and breaks the lows. So that would be my setup, and I trade that very, very simple and consistently. It's listen, I'm not, I don't have some crazy rules. I just have simple rules that are easy and consistent, easy to follow, meaning therefore you can be consistent. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, literally, I just sit here and wait for those opportunities through high liquidity and volume times, which would be pre London Open and then through US Open. Pleasure, Imran. Thanks for the question. I'm happy to always share what I do on a daily basis. Potential, yeah, we will do a live stream tomorrow. Oh, hold on, what day is it tomorrow? Yeah, uh, this is a big candle. Which one? Was that on gold you were referring to, um, Said? Yeah, I wouldn't be trading anything on gold right now. I need, for me, it doesn't match any of my rules, so I can't do anything just yet. Uh, yeah, it's just patience. This is literally like being, as we always refer to, like being a sniper. You have to sit in the location that you are and you're waiting for that one precise opportunity where you can take your shot. So this, we have different setups. So I'll have a breakout setup, I'll have a false breakout, I'll have a BPC, a range trade. So any one of those four trades, a flip is something I would trade in strong trends. So wherever the market condition is, I've got four different setups, and I know at any one point which setup I could potentially trade when price comes into a specific price point. Okay, so I'm just waiting for the market to come to my price points that I'm interested in. Then I'm waiting for the candles to do what they need to do. So if I'm looking to buy, I need to buy a candle full stop. Then I need a pullback before I can place an order. I need clear space. I need zones like this where you've got big candles, or like this, big candle bodies where the market can push into without actually having any roadblocks in the way. So the thing that I spend most of my time doing is analyzing the market and sitting on my hands waiting for the market to come where I want it to. When it gets there, then it still may not give me a setup. So it's about making sure that you can have a set of rules and a game plan that you can adhere to. And the second you create that game plan and that consistency, you will then be able to become consistent yourself. If you're just trading on emotion, then unfortunately it's going to be very difficult to create that consistency. So it's 10 past 2. I'm going to be live for about another 20 minutes and then I am going to be heading off. I just want to see what happens as the NAS comes into into the opening. Let's have a look at, I can imagine right now if we just go through some of the big stocks, you're probably going to see big drops on them. NVDA coming into pre-market. What have we got there? Nvidia pre-market, we're seeing initial drop of 2.7%. Microsoft, initial drop of 1.9%. Google, initial drop of 1.8%. Um, what else do you want to look at? Meta, we're seeing initial drop of 1.9%. Netflix, 1%. What have I not looked at? Amazon. Now, I don't trade stocks, but I just want to have a look. So Amazon's got the biggest drop of the day at the minute on pre-market open of 2.1%. Why do you come on live for such a short time? Uh, an hour and a half. It's long enough to fit in around my other schedule. I start at 1 o'clock and come on between 2 and 2:30, so anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half. Um, but yeah, I don't have enough time to do more than that and look after my clients as well. So ultimately, if it was down to me after the first trade, I'd stop trading and stop being live, you know. Um, but unfortunately, some people they might have just logged in and then it doesn't give anyone any time whatsoever. So I'd rather just try and help and give an explanation of why I'd be looking at certain uh, opportunities based on my rules. Should so 18 minutes and then I'm gonna call it a day. So if you've got any questions between now and 2:30, let me know and I'll try and answer I can to the best of my ability. If it's something I don't know, I'll tell you straight away. Rambo FX, welcome. Now, uh, uh, any other questions, guys, while we're waiting for something to materialize? Now, there is news at 3 o'clock, so just be aware of that if you are still going to be looking at the markets. When I close off at uh, 1 second, guys. um, Today it is ISM PMI numbers at 3 p.m. Yeah, ISM PMI numbers at 3 p.m. Forecast is 49. Previous numbers were 48. Now, although it is showing a slight uptick in data, it's still negative for the market. So anything above 50 would be an expansion, and anything below 50 is shown as contraction. So although it is expected to be an improvement on previous PMI reading, um, it is actually seen as still contraction. DAX. Okay, we're getting close now. We're seeing some buyers stepping in on uh, NASDAQ. Now, under normal circumstances, I would be potentially looking for a buy above this bullish candle, but I'm going to wait for the US Open. So if this next candle was to wick down, I would be interested in buys above this bullish candle normally. But let's see how the next 15-minute candle plays out, and then we can make a decision. Do you see any correlation between sessions, like if one session consolidates, the other will move? I mean, I think if you want to look at it, you can always say there's a correlation. But markets are random, right? So I would just look at the structures and look at the price action. And if there's a setup, there's a setup. You look at it sometimes Asia will move, then London will move. The next time Asia will move and London will be quiet, then Asia will be quiet, London will be quiet, New York will move. So I don't believe there's a correlation. I just think what people will always be able to create a narrative around what's happened after the event. If there was a specific correlation, um, then people would just trade it. I mean, look, what we can say is between like 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., there's usually a move through Asia on gold. Um, Obviously, UK time or European time, there's usually moves in there as well because that's high liquidity. And then usually between sort of like 1 and 3 p.m., there's moves in there as US comes into play. 4 p.m. is the London fix, so that can be a good time to look for a corrective move if there's been a strong move. And then PMI numbers are released in 43 minutes, buddy. So I wouldn't focus on trying to find correlations. I would just focus on being consistent with looking at your setup rules and then applying them consistently. Pleasure Gold Trader. And yeah, I've had a shocker today. Uh, don't worry, mate. It happens. It happens. Just I think you said the best thing earlier, which is just take the rest of the day off. Don't even look at the charts. It's usually when you've had a shocker, you can make the day even worse. Ooh, Jaguar Land Rover forced to shut down systems with severe disruption after cyber attack. Um, Let me just. Uh, I'm in a sell from 3508, aiming to hold it till NFP on Friday. I think gold will sell. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a big old 3 4. What do you say? I'm gonna sell from 3508. Okay, you're sitting you're sitting pretty tasty. I mean, literally, you've caught that at the pinnacle. The high, what was the high? 3508.53. So, yeah, I mean, you've caught that at the top. So, listen, all I can say is good luck, but is it worth? Is it worth? Did you sell right now, bro? No, I've not done anything. We bought initially. We scaled out after 10, 25, and 65 pips, and then we got stopped at about 18 pips for the last little bit. I'm just waiting for price to either break 3469 or I'm waiting for NASDAQ to pop higher. But Not doing not doing anything at the minute, just sitting on the sidelines. We've taken one trade and we ultimately I'm only looking for one trade a day if we can get, or one trade a session, I should say. Just scalp the gold buy down 5 pips up, total 25 pips net. Need to sit on my hands now. There you go, Rob. Sit on your hands. Um, yeah, so Said, yeah, there is potential, but I'm just going to wait for the open in 9 minutes and then we'll see what happens. I'll always tell you, or I'll bring up my MetaTrader screen when I do a position, when I put a position out there. Flow trade, good afternoon. Official DIO, good afternoon. Okay, so we're getting some, there's a few more people checking in now. It seems to be like a later influx of people jumping onto the live stream. It's been a bit of a quiet session, to be fair. Thank you for the guys that have been asking questions. So Callum, Gold Trader, and Zhao, um, and on TikTok, and then Said, Simon, Rob, and Dan, and Vic on YouTube. But yeah, let's just sit tight. We've got 8 minutes, and in 8 minutes' time, if we haven't got a setup, I will be closing the stream tab. What's up? What do you want? Um, Pleasure. Uh, yeah, well done, Callum. Nice one, catching it right up there. Dog. If you can hear a dog in the background, I do apologize. I don't know what's happening, but he's talking a lot in the background. Uh, Let me just 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Jay, if you're still on, I've just sent you the link on Telegram. We have so many red folders this week, so may get stopped at break even, but worth a try. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, I mean that that kind of way, Callum, yeah, you're gonna hit big if it comes in. But I'm always of the this is just for me and this isn't advice. I like to take money off the table and de-risk and then see if we can get some big runs. So there's you never I would hate to see, I don't know, let's say you've sold at 35.08 and you've got one lot on it. So one lot 35.08, you got 27 pips. So you're up $2,700. If you've got more than one lot on, you're going to be up more. But one lot on, you'll be up $2,700. And a sell, you're going to get paid positive swaps. So per one lot, you're going to get around $20 a night. And on a Wednesday, you'll get around $60 a night. So sells, if you want to hold it in gold, will always be good because you're getting positive swaps to hold the position overnight. You got point 0.3 on, so you've got what did I say? It was 1725. So that'd be 2,500, 30%. You got about $750 of profit plus uh, Um, yeah, so these are calculations you can do quite quickly when you're looking at, especially when you know how the market's moving. Um, but the way I'd look at that is if we're coming into um, market major news events and $740, was, let's say it's on a prop account or personal account, it doesn't matter. Um, let's say you trade, I don't know, 5 grand, 10 grand account. You've got $740 of profit. That, if you were to bank half, and let's say it spikes higher, stops you out, you've made 370. If it spikes higher, it stops you out and you haven't banked anything, you end up with nothing. If it spikes lower, fantastic. But it's a lottery. So you've got to ask yourself, would you rather have some money in the bank? And if it spikes lower, fantastic, you're still going to make more money. But you run the gauntlet of getting kicked out. So he doesn't want you to finish the live law. Let- yeah, maybe not. There's a there's a lot of likes coming in right now. I don't know who's smashing the button, but thank you. 4 minutes to go. Sharpshooter followed the live creator. Welcome, Sharpshooter. Uh, yeah, the like button's gone crazy. So I think someone's just sat there hitting the like button. Appreciate it, whoever you are. Um, we literally just went from like 1,000 to 4,000 likes in a nanosecond. Maybe I bring my stop loss to 34.95 to secure some profit if it does spike. Um, Again, this is so let's say it spikes. If it goes into 3,500, you're going to get it tapped out. Yeah, or it's not that I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but I like people to see both sides of the story. I'd rather leave my stop loss at 35.08 because it's less likely of getting tapped, and I'd rather secure half my profits right now. And if it does fly up into 35s on the news, then the money that I've secured, if I still think there's a setup to sell, I'll use some of that money to put another sell on at a higher price. That's just the way that I like to apply myself in the market. It doesn't mean it's the right way. It's just what I like to do. Yeah. Um, and remember, I'm just trying to give you all sides of the equation. So yeah, you could bank 740 and you're in lovely profits. You could bank partials. You could just leave it as it is and hope that you don't get stopped out and it drops lower. Remember, because we've no idea what the news is. We don't know how the markets are going to move whatsoever. So always protect capital, right? Pleasure, Callum. Pleasure, buddy. So look, as we're moving into the open, we're seeing NASDAQ dropping a bit. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I am going to uh, jump off this live stream uh, just after 2:30. Part-time lightweight, love it. I get stick from everywhere. Lightweight trader, love it. I am like that. Yeah, I'm quite aggressive with my entries, but yeah, part-time trader today. Sorry guys, I am gonna lock it off in a couple of minutes. Okay, so now that this is spiking down, I like potential buys above 23,100. If we break this low, if we break this low, buy stop above the 30-minute looks sharpshooter. I don't do guest appearances. Sorry, it's just appreciate you wanting to maybe come on as a guest, but yeah, I don't do it. So I would be interested in buys above here. I'm not taking it, but based on the way that I look at the market, I would be buys above here. 20 pips, I'd scale out, and then I'd be looking for the market to run up in towards this 23,300 area. Uh, Guys, if you've enjoyed the session, just drop me a yes or a comment. I'm gonna close off for the day. If you do want to get hold of me, you can get hold of me on business WhatsApp, which is UK number 7356 237 138. Okay. Guys, have a great evening, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. Take care. YouTube, take care. Thanks, Said. Thanks, Vic, Rob, Anna, Dan, everyone there. Thank you so much.